Jamsters and the Geek Squad. I think that's the name of your followers. We do this every time. Let's all unite tonight. The Suns win. We're back. A victory. The Suns are 2-1 now. They do beat the Jazz 126-104. It's me and the Geek tonight. How you doing, Suns Geek?
Man, this was a great night, not just for the Phoenix Suns, but for all of Valley sports, because the Arizona Diamondbacks got the Game 2 win in the World Series. The Suns Ring of Honor members were honored, and the Suns just had fun tonight. Does that calm everybody down now? Can you calm down now, Suns fans? We're going to have some fun tonight, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, just a huge victory. One of those, garbage time games that we were all just predicting this season. We got to see some bowl, the cherry on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Fantastic day here in Phoenix. I don't know how much better it can get. Maybe the Cardinals play tomorrow? Could they win tomorrow? Who cares? Do you want them to lose, actually, right? You don't want them to win. So,
well, I'm an NFL expert here. I know everything.
Oh, yeah. That's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about NFL fantasy football lineups. No, we're talking about the Suns' victory. There's a lot to go over.
Surprisingly, you wouldn't think there's not, but there actually is.
Yeah, definitely. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe. You like Suns Jam and Suns Geek over there. Make sure you do subscribe. That's a big thing. If you haven't yet, please do hit the like button right now. Leave a 5-star review for Apple Podcasts. We will read it here live on the podcast. And dude, this is going to be a lot of fun. Do you have anything to pop open? I, of course, do not. I did have a few drinks last night, but nothing in my fridge tonight.
That's the thing. I had a few last night for those of you real ones who watched the first annual Suns Potters fantasy draft. We did that last night. And I'm not going to lie. I kicked back a little bit. I had a few drinks, but you know what? Let's keep the celebration going, man.
That was so good.
So refreshing. But don't worry. I'm staying smart. I got some water. Don't worry. We'll be okay.
Okay. So you can drive home then, huh?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, that's good. All right.
Yeah, man.
You gonna pop? We gotta hear something.
Yeah. We gotta pop them. Ready? Here we go. Ooh.
Sounds good. A large victory for the Phoenix Suns tonight. Oh man, 126-104 again. I gotta ask you really quick.
Oi, Matty. Mate, I've got to ask.
First of all, Jamsters, Geek Squad out there, you're probably wondering, where is John? Where's John tonight? This is where he is at. He is all dressed up. Stupid is, stupid does. I don't, the whole, that's him right there. Forrest Gump and his lady. I forget her name. Do you remember her name? It's been such a long time since I've seen the name. He's out there partying tonight, so we're going to take over. He'll probably pop in later for sure. But right now, it's going to be you and I. And I got a question. Matt Ishbia, does he just bring you to tears? Almost like just what he's doing for this franchise. 263 days currently as a Suns owner, Suns and Mercury owner. And tonight, the Ring of Honor, just at halftime, it was brilliant. It was epic. It was everything. It was just a great night there in Phoenix. Lucky to all those fans there to actually witness it. It just looked great. What did you think of the Ring of Honor? And the banners is just a great look, isn't it?
Absolutely. You kind of summed it up right there. He's only been here for 263 days. And just the turnaround and the fan engagement, keyword engagement, and the engagement for the Suns Ring of Honor members. Like Thunder Dan was talking about it on the broadcast, how he's been back a few times since Matt Ishbia took over, and he feels welcome. And, Steve Nash and Barkley and all them. And again, just going back to the fan engagement and everything, this was just a special night besides the Suns win. I mean, I got to toot my own horn here for a second. I mean, you see the legends on the wall behind me. Like, I've studied the history of Suns basketball, and I'm talking like Dick Van Arsdale, Connie Hawkins, all the OGs, you know what I mean? But just the fact that we honored everybody tonight and we put up the brand new banners, no more of those stupid electric signs or whatever, with the advertisements all over them. and it just looks cleaner too. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I did like the original Suns Ring of Honor, the boards and all that, but like, the banners, banners are forever, if you will. But this was just a special night. Matt Ishbia just knows what he's doing from top to bottom, and just you saw what Charles Barkley said, right? Like, I will. What he heard? I'm actually forgetting what he said, but
yeah, he said that I will live in Phoenix to the day I die.
Thank you.
Basically, like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Loves Phoenix, but the welcome that Dan Marley has back here, and then you have Stoudemire and Marion up in the booth
And Nash
in the suite hanging out. Yeah, they're all together. It's nice to have those guys back. You know that Ishbia wants this place to be welcome, to have them come back whenever they want. It's hard sometimes to see Marion in Dallas. I know he won a championship there. He's hanging out with Mark Cuban. But to be back here in Phoenix, he's always been a fan favorite.
Exactly.
This is just something different, man. The banners is just such a good look. The banners is like, it reminds me of like what the Celtics do at the TD Garden or whatever it's called now. It looks so epic in a way where a historical franchise like the Suns, they need the banners.
Yep.
And that's the only way to go. I like the boards, the old thing, but this is just, they had to do this.
Yeah.
And the way they actually had it set up, it just looks so clean to me. I don't know. There was...
I'm sorry to cut you off real quick,
no,
man. Something you said, you were like, for Thunder Dan and Steve Nash and Marion to come back whenever they want. I feel like when Sarver was here, and I hate to bring up that name on a night like tonight, that wasn't really the case. You know what I mean? Just had to throw that out there.
No, it wasn't. And like even Marley said on the broadcast, he said he came back, he's never felt so welcome, right? And that was always a thing. They never want to step foot in this place ever. It's great, man. It's a party backstage. There's a lot of love there. The Suns get the victory, and this guy in the third quarter, he dominated.
Oh, Grayson Allen, our fuck shit up guy.
Dude, Grayson Allen tonight in the third quarter alone came out of nowhere. He started the game good. He was running the offense well in the first quarter, but in the third quarter, he's like, no, I'm going to take this. I'm going to get these monster dunks. Like, he was going hard to the hole. He was hitting his threes, 2 for 2 for 3 in the third quarter, 14 points overall in the third quarter, man. Did you expect that? Because the first two games with Grayson Allen, it was not like that. We were actually questioning, and we were calling him Landry Shamet. We were worried that he was turning into a Landry Shamet. I wasn't. Yeah, maybe I did. But I don't know what you thought of him in the first two games, but now this game, just such a different look. What do you think, man?
First off, just real quick on the first two games, it was more of just like a letdown because he looked so damn good during the preseason. You know what I mean? And I have a new thing here on Suns Geek where I take paper notes. Like, I actually use a pen and I write them down on paper instead of just doing it on the computer to where I'm like, oh, I'm reading off a script here. And seriously, on my notes here, I have KD to Eric Gordon, KD to Grayson Allen. I just see Grayson Allen all over the place on my notes here. I am starting to see a connection with Kevin Durant and Grayson Allen. He must like playing with him in practice. You know what I mean? Because they are feeding the ball to each other, and they are both delivering when they can. And again, you mentioned it. Grayson Allen got it going early, man. And so did Eric Gordon. What did he have? Like 21 points in the first half or whatever.
Yes.
But I knew it was a special night for Grayson Allen when he had that rebound that led to the fast break. And as Kevin Ray said, he took it to the boom room and just threw it down. But also he looks a little more, I guess, confident in his shot, if you will. And I think they were talking about that on the broadcast. Just let it fly, man. Like, yeah, you really struggled and it was a big letdown the first two games, but like, you got to get out of the shooting slump eventually, right? And then I'm sure we're going to talk about it later, but I wrote this down in my notes too. The ball movement tonight just looks so much different than it did the first two games, man. So shout out to Grayson Allen, man. And again, I don't care if it's against the Jazz or the Warriors or whoever it is. Tonight was a great night for Grayson Allen.
Oh yeah, smiles all around. Seriously, I mean, we are just happy here on the Jam Session podcast and Suns Geek joining us tonight, but also a $22 donation from Biscuits in the Bear. So he does donate. It's he, she. Why I went there? The $22 is the difference of the margin for victory. So that's what we're getting donated. I think is it every game. That's insane because, like he says in the comment, this agreement I made is going to make me broke, but in a good way. Yes,
Yep.
yes, these victories for sure. I'm sure in garbage time, you're hoping that, it kind of dwindles down maybe to 12 points, if that
That's
helps.
awesome, man.
Yeah, that is super awesome. So thank you very much. And yes, the ball movement was great, man. I think last game you really saw a lot of just KD, right? I think that's
Yep.
all you really saw was KD
Yeah.
and just
Pretty
ISO. And
much.
he was so drenched after the first quarter, just soaked. And he was doing too much. And that was a different team. The Lakers team, obviously, defensively was better than what this Utah Jazz team is. The Jazz may be a little bit more tired for sure. But tonight, Kevin Durant did move the ball around. The ball was moving.
Who the heck are you? I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
Did anybody see a sniper? Did anybody see anything?
I'm one of the best players to ever play the game.
Dude, Kevin Durant tonight, only 29 minutes. That's my favorite part. He didn't come
Yep.
back in the fourth, which was much needed after that last game against the Lakers. We didn't know how much he had left in him, but he still put up 26 points and 7 assists. I said last podcast that maybe he can only have one game that's great a week, and that's fine. It's KD. He's a little bit older, whatever. And this is a second game already. 2 out of 3 fantastic games from Kevin Durant. I don't want to hear anything bad about him ever. Like, this is just, he turned the corner now with the Suns, to where last playoffs he didn't look as good, but now he's back and he's looking like the Kevin Durant that we always wanted. And Suns Geek, what do you think, man? I mean, tonight he just was fantastic, and he kind of just helped the Suns just put it away early, but got quick to his moves, got quick to the rim, drawing fouls. He was making sure that getting everybody involved. So it was like kind of the 0.5 offense where he would pass it up, move the ball quick, or he would make his move to the rim. It was a little bit easier for him tonight. He looked younger. He looked like KD. What'd you think, man?
I'm just going to pretty much piggyback off everything you said. The crazy thing, too, about tonight is he only made 1 3. Like, really think about that. Because really, to start the season, the Suns haven't really been a great three-point shooting team. He had 1 3, but you also mentioned it, too. 7 assists. And they were talking about this on the broadcast, and I wrote it down. He was doing really good at, with the double teams that were sending off of him, or that were coming to him, and then rolling off those pick and rolls, like either finding a guy for, a pick and roll, or just taking advantage, getting to a spot or whatever it may be. And then, like I said, the chemistry that he is building with Grayson Allen, who we just talked about, and Eric Gordon, man, there is something special there. And that is the excitement, that is kind of the potential that this team has, because as everybody's been talking about, we don't have Devin Booker, we don't have Bradley Beal, and this is why we trade for Kevin Durant, man, is for nights like this. And then you said it at the very start, he only played 29 minutes tonight, did not play in the fourth quarter. That is huge. So shout out to Kevin Durant, man. I know that, the Lakers game was kind of a disappointment and all that, even though we only lost by 5. But this is why you trade for Kevin Durant, man. He was awesome tonight.
Yeah, he definitely was. And there was always kind of questions of like how this team would look, with Beal, with Booker, and the big three. How many games are going to play together? That's always a good question. But right now, it just looks scary. I know this Utah Jazz team did play last night. Like I said earlier, they might have been a little bit tired in the second half, but it doesn't matter. Like, you can take what you can get really right now with the Suns when you're going through injuries and you're hearing about it. Like, oh, you have Beal. Oh, look at it. Good luck with his back and all that stuff. This team is still solid with Kevin Durant. They just have to figure things out with all the new pieces.
Yep.
You just know it wasn't going to work so early, but here we do get a little upset sometimes. It's okay. It's okay to be upset, right? But we just know that this team's going to take a little bit more time, and that's fine. And Thomas Annette, thank you. This is definitely fine. $10 in the chat. We're feeling good tonight, right? We're feeling great.
We're
I'm
feeling
sure you're
great,
feeling a little
man.
buzzed right now. Were you drinking last night too?
Yeah, I had a few last night, but I ate
Yeah.
pretty well today. I drank a lot of water, so I'm like keeping the party going. I'm good, man.
I love to hear that, man. Thomas Annette, $10. Here's to donation to change the Grayson Allen drop. You know what? That's up to John.
Yeah, that's up to John.
I personally love the Grayson. I love all his drops. Cheesy or not, they look great. I don't know. Speaking of looking great, Melissa White is say, Matt, how was your date last night? I'm not sure why everyone knows I had a date last night, but it was good. I got to touch a kneecap, so it went really great. But we're moving on. Who else caught your attention tonight? Who else should we talk about next? Is there
real
anybody you're
quick,
thinking of?
real quick, before we keep talking about the Suns, because trust me, I got a lot of notes here. Look, I don't want to make excuses for the Jazz. I don't want to sound like a know-it-all here, but I do want to talk about the Jazz just real quickly. And shout out to Tony Jones. I think he works and writes for The Athletic. He had a good tweet that kind of summed up tonight's game. And again, I'm not trying to make excuses for the Jazz here, but he said, and I quote, "Some of this you can attribute to a lack of energy because of last night. But energy or not, it's a bad look to be down 30 to a team missing 2 of their 3 best players. And that's playing basically doing cardio and not inserting themselves." And then I like his response here. Like somebody followed up saying like Utah Jazz coach Will Hardy is not a defensive coach. And he responded saying something like he just doesn't have the personnel. Doesn't that kind of remind you of last year's Phoenix Suns and how now we are a defensive team with a defensive minded coach and all that, and how it really changes things? I don't really know where I'm going with that. It's just Jazz overachieved last year and they could be good this year, but it might take some time. Just saying.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what they're trying to do there, it's kind of like, it's like, see how they are by the All-Star break, see what they're doing, see what the record is, and then maybe going to the trade deadline, make a big move.
They could too. They got some pieces.
You can't really underestimate them after last year. They kind of just missed out on the playoffs on purpose.
They were good though, man. You remember some of those games. They were really good, man.
Yeah, definitely. That's why it's like you go into this game, you're like, oh, it's Utah Jazz. Like, oh, they're 1-1. I mean, they beat the Clippers by 2 points. They can pull one off, man. And that's why I don't know. I like that you brought up the coaching thing. So here on Suns Jam Session, this is a drop from John where you kind of got to dance along. So I hope you're in the mood, man. Ready? All right, I thought that would never end. So
I'm clipping that and I'm going to upload it to my channel.
Mac says Suns coaching sucks. Yeah, definitely. I noticed tonight when the Jazz went on a run to start even the second quarter, it was a 5-0 run, timeout right away. Back in the day, Monty would just let that go. Hey, handle it. Chris Paul, you guys figure it out. Now he's calling timeouts right away after 2 made shots on runs where we're up by like 10 or 12. But then they cut it to 5, and it's like, call a timeout. He calls a timeout. Makes me super happy, man. So I'm glad you brought up the coaching, but I don't know your thoughts on Frank Vogel. So far this season, there's so much going on. To start 2-1, the defense tonight was just insane. I mean, what did they have in the first half? Let me actually look that up really quick. They had 17 points off turnovers to 5 that the Utah Jazz had, but we only turned it over 3 times. That was the difference in the first half. That's what got us out to a bigger lead in the third quarter. Plus, what we did offensively with Kevin Durant running the fast break off turnovers, that was big. Kevin Durant had 3 fast breaks, dude, that he ran tonight. That's insane. I didn't even think that would ever happen this early in the season with the injuries and, just the communication not being as good defensively. But right now, dude, they're looking good. So your thoughts on Vogel, or is there anything you want to kind of add to that?
First off, I'm loving everything I'm hearing, like listening to about Frank Vogel and just seeing, because first off, on a personal note, he honestly seems like a really good person. And that's saying something because we all know how good of a person Monty Williams was, but he really does seem like a good guy. But when he's on the court, man, he truly is a good leader, a good coach, but I feel like he's also not afraid to like tell you how it is. You know what I mean? And we've heard this from his opening, when he with the press conference, when he first got hired, like, we're going to be a scrappy defensive team. We're going to work hard, all that stuff. Like, I feel like he really is preaching that in practice. They even showed like a clip from practice, you know what I mean, in which he cussed. They obviously had to blur it out and all that. But yeah, he's doing great, man, in terms of the defense. And you can just tell this is a different defensive Phoenix Suns team compared to last year. And it's going to take some time because, the first 2 games, little shaky here and there. But you also mentioned the turnovers. The Jazz had 7 turnovers in the first quarter, but the Suns tonight as a team had 11 turnovers, dude. I know that might sound like a lot, but compared to the last 2 games, that is nothing. And I remember Frank Vogel said this. It might have been at media day. He was like, if we don't turn the ball over and we play, the way we need to play, like, we're going to be a really tough team to stop. He said something like that. Like, I'm paraphrasing a little bit. And like, yeah, both teams had like nearly 20 fouls, but it didn't really seem that way because we took care of the basketball. We were making our freaking shots, man. So big shout out to Frank Vogel. He deserves so much credit. And I know it's the 3rd game of the season, but this was the right man for the job.
Oh yeah, he's done a tremendous job so far. You feel comfortable with him, just like a lot of these players on the court. Tonight, one guy really stepped up, and his name is Eric Gordon.
From Indiana University, number 23, Eric Gordon.
So another guy that just went off in the first half, 21 points. He was 9 of 14 from the field, 4 assists. That was on the first half, right? He obliterated them. And I honestly thought that he was going to probably hit his career high again. He had 50 points, his career high against the Utah Jazz before. Tonight, he had 21 in the first half. John Voita is joining us. He has his hair down. We're having fun tonight. John, are you having fun over there? Where are you at? Applebee's?
I just feel like running.
Oh, jeez. I'm so happy for you, John. He's running in place. He must be at a stop sign or a stoplight, right? That's what runners do. They run in place until it goes green.
Stupid is as stupid does.
Yeah? Did you watch any of the game?
I saw the very beginning, and then I just kept updates throughout the entire game, and it looked like they put an ass whipping on them Utah Jazz.
It was a blast.
Yeah. Eric Gordon tonight, we were just talking 21 points in the first half. Looked phenomenal. 9 of 14. We were kind of skeptic a little bit. Before the last 2 games, he wasn't hitting his shots. Tonight, same kind of game, but everything was going in. Your thoughts on Eric Gordon, John? Just kidding. You didn't watch it.
Here's my thoughts on Eric Gordon, okay? Eric Gordon has been fulfilling a role that he's not really prepared to be filling right now. He's supposed to be coming off the bench. But based on the box score that I noticed and monitoring Twitter throughout the entire night, you could see that he was stepping up and he was the catalyst that we needed. He performed tonight in a way we needed him to do against the Lakers, right? Just hit some shots, man. You hit some of those shots to take some pressure off KD. KD can be KD, and you can mute the Jazz, baby. Fuck the Jazz.
Yeah, I love it. Aussie Suns fan says, is John at the same forest that Matthew was in last night? I guess they were saying I was burying my date in the forest. How nice of them, Just saying. So, a couple bodies out there, so watch your feet, John. Don't trip.
There was a dead body right there.
Yeah. So how's the party?
It's good.
It's pretty good?
I'm sober as a bird because I'm driving, so I'm just running around dump all night.
That's terrible, dude.
I'll drink one for you, John.
I appreciate that. People are inside. No one's even inside anymore. But
I was like, is there like 10 people there?
No. There's like 15.
Oh, 15? Okay. That's not bad.
It's a good Suns win when we can get. It's a good Suns win when we get, a vlog here from John.
Yeah, I know. He does look kind of cute, though. John is the best at wearing wigs. He looks absolutely darling in every wig that he puts on. I don't know what it is. Facial structure. I'd be so good if I had hair. You'd be so good? Are you?
This one's for Metal Mike. I got to pay. I believe Metal Mike said I had to go pay. So.
Is there anything else you got to do? Or is that it? Just got to go pee and...
I just wanted to tell you that the Phoenix Suns looked like they had magic legs. Did you guys talk about the Ring of Honor?
Yeah, we did in the beginning. But what did you think? Did you watch the ceremony?
I didn't watch the ceremony. I did record, once I'm done here, I'll drive home, like an hour home, and I'll watch the whole game because I recorded everything because I want to see it. Okay. That Ring of Honor looks fucking tits, bro. Classic, clean, exactly what it needs to be. Nothing crazy, but hanging from the rafters. Anytime a dad brings his kid into there to watch a game, anytime somebody goes to a concert, that will be hanging up there. And that's what it's about. It's not about some digital thing around the arena. It's about banners and up in the rafters. And hopefully they'll be adding a championship banner up there next to it. So I think that, again, another W for Matt Ishbia.
Yeah, it was the whole halftime show, the Ring of Honor. It was kind of emotional, man. Those guys coming back and just Steve Nash being there with Kevin Johnson and Charles Barkley to end it. Like, it was something different. It was just Matt Ishbia, like I said on Twitter, like 263 days already, or that's it. And so far, just knocking everything out of the park. I don't even know what's next. Hopefully, we do get the championship. But those banners are super clean. Everything looks perfect. And if Espo actually put on Twitter too, if you're up in the top section from behind, it looks even better. The back view, because in the front, all the lights and stuff is kind of in the way. But if you go in the back, it just looks phenomenal. I love it.
That's my Jenny.
Hey, Shannon.
Hey.
That's my sister. Everyone. That's my
There's
sister.
Wednesday.
Shannon Ray Lissy.
And
Look her up
cousin
on
it.
LinkedIn. Okay. We can't see anything, John. We can't
Yeah,
see
I know.
anything, dude.
All right. Well, you guys have a good podcast. I'm gonna
All
not.
right.
Love you, John.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thanks, dude.
Go Sun.
Go Suns.
All right, so we'll get back to the game. Before I jump into like some other guys, is there anything else you want to talk about that we already kind of went over? You want to gloss over anything that did you write down in cursive? Is it in cursive? Because
You don't want to see my handwriting because it's really sloppy. I'm just trying to look here, man. We already talked about the ball movement. I guess scoring points off their turnovers. We sort of mentioned the turnovers, but the Suns actually executed on those turnovers. Real quick before we talk about other guys, I'm assuming on the Suns, don't be surprised if Lauri Markkanen is an all-star this year because he's already off to a really good start to the season. And Yusuf Nurkic is a really good passer. That's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, actually, speaking of
Nurkic watch.
the Nurkic night, 10 points, nothing crazy, right? We're not going to get huge stats from the guy, 10 points, 7 rebounds. A dud last game, but still, even the duds, I'm like, I'll take that over an Ayton game. That's just how I am. I think a lot of us are feeling that way right now with Nurkic. He's been incredible. I think the only thing for me starts at 0 for 4 in the post when he's close to the basket. His shots are a little rushed. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
He has the size. He backs down Markkanen, and really, when you're that close to the basket, he kind of rushes it. So if he slowed it down, he was 0 for 4, then finally got a little hook shot, but you can tell on that hook shot, he took his time with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Leading the Suns in assists just so far this season. I think that what he brings to this offense is just so valuable. We all know that for sure. But in games like this where you just need someone to dominate inside, rebounding, and shot blocking sketch, right?
Yeah.
Those guys, the Jazz, got to the rim endlessly heading into the halftime. I just think Garland and even at times multiple guards, they were just getting straight to the rim. Everything was super easy. But Nurk tonight, I just think he played one of his probably best game so far this season, the early season, right? Don't you think?
One of them, yeah. One of the early good games from him. I mean, are we going to see a Yusuf Nurkic triple-double soon? Because he almost had one tonight. And like I mentioned, with the passing, he had one pass in particular that I wrote down was he found Eric Gordon cutting to the rim. He just sometimes has those really sneaky passes, whether it's like a bounce pass or a no-look pass, because Yusuf Nurkic will do it. And you are right, but you're right about like the post-ups and all that, and how sometimes those shots can be a little like, suspect or whatever. But I will say this, and I wrote it down, at least Yusuf Nurkic doesn't hesitate. Like when he has that ball, doesn't matter who is in front of him, he's going to post them up. Like I like that because as we all saw with DA, he'll either take his time or he'll do that little pump fake he does. And you know, the DeAndre and stuff that he does. But Nurkic, man, I mean, at least he's a little aggressive, sometimes maybe a little too aggressive, but he doesn't hesitate, man. And like I said, he is a really good passer. And we've seen it a couple of times during the season and in preseason. I mean, if he's out in the 3-point line, he'll shoot it, man. So shout out to Yusuf Nurkic. We've all seen the quotes about him being a better fit or a good fit, if you will. And this is why we traded for him, good screen setter. And he just seems like a cool guy. Like I know you've seen those media, the after practice press conferences or whatever. Just seems like a cool guy, man. Like I would love to have a beer with him.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he's always smiling. He's always just so happy to be here in Phoenix. Yeah. And that's what we need. It's like, I mean, DA was definitely very happy, but I don't want to talk about DA. I want to ask you a few questions. So there was actually a few questions. The first question is DA, him being gone. I just wanted to ask you, because I haven't really asked you, is does he run through your mind at all? Do you revisit him ever? Do you remember that he plays in the league? Because right now, I don't pay attention. Like when Mikhail and Cam left, I watch them.
Yeah.
I look at their box score. But me with DA, I don't care anymore, really. It's kind of like, oh, we're done, right? Like, just, it's over. Like, do you feel the same way?
I was during the preseason just because we played them twice. So I kind of had to, from a content creator standpoint, I kind of had to. But since then, to be honest, I haven't even watched any Blazers highlights because I know he had a rough first game. Again, maybe I'll go look at those highlights, even though there's really probably not much to watch. But to be honest, no, man, I've just been locked onto this team and just focused on the new guys. And again, like you said it, man, like Nurkic is happy to be here, man. All the players seem happy to be here, even if they're on a two-way contract like Saban Lee and all them. These guys seem thrilled to be here. And look, we saw a couple bad games from Nurkic, in the preseason and all that, but like he's going to have nights like tonight where he is going to be a good passer, going to hit a few shots here and there, rebound and all that. Maybe the rebounds might need to go up a little bit, but he's a great fit, man. I'm psyched for Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, me too. I mean, there's nothing else that you really want from him. I think he does everything on the court that we really need.
Yeah.
Except for shot blocking. So Sagan, sorry, excuse my language. He says, she, I don't even know. We need one more shot blocking biggie. I was texting with my nephew during the game. I'm like, there's one piece, obviously, everyone can see it, where we don't really have that threat, right? For inside. Yeah. Is there anybody out there that you maybe think, oh, Suns Geek's gone, there's someone at the door maybe?
Oh, here, hold on.
Okay, he'll be right back. So, Creepy Crawly, hey, Lissy, did you get a root yesterday?
Sorry, I had to let my dog.
Oh, it's okay. Hey, no worries, man. Creepy, I don't really know what that means. Creepy Crawly asked me, hey, Lissy, did you get a root yesterday?
A root?
Yeah, I don't know if that's something.
What were you about to ask me? I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. So, I was asking about the bigs out there, maybe somebody to add to this team that actually shows a little bit more presence inside. Is there anybody that maybe you think the Suns can add? Because, of course, that's like the one thing we need. That presence inside. I honestly, back of my mind, I don't know who you trade for this guy at all, but anytime someone's disgruntled, right, the Suns have an opportunity to get this guy now. It would maybe be Joel Embiid. That actually goes in my mind. So I want to ask you, like, the thoughts of maybe Embiid joining this team, or is there anybody else that you think the Suns can bring in to help with shot blocking?
First off, the Joel Embiid thing, and don't get me wrong, I'm a fan, but this question is sort of hard for me to answer because I'm a little bit biased because, shout out to Philly Take with RB and DJ Eastwood and my guy Romp. They're all Sixers fans. They cover the Sixers. Trust me, Joel Embiid is like royalty. The Suns would have to offer a massive package, or Embiid would have to force his way to Phoenix. But I get what you're saying, though. He's the MVP of the league. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. And off the top of my head, I can't honestly think of anybody right now. I will say, though, the big man position is our weakest position because we've seen Nurkic get into foul trouble kind of early. That's a little alarming, man. Like, we saw what Anthony Davis did to us here and there, especially, what was that? Was it during the preseason when he had like 5-6 blocks on us? You know what I mean? Like, but off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody, but I will say this. If we do bring on another big man, it's probably going to be somebody that none of us were thinking about. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that answers your question, but
Well, no, it definitely does. The other big man we do have is Drew Eubanks, a backup for Nurk.
Yes, sir.
Comes in tonight. Stellar game, 6 of 7. There's a lot of people in the chat. We're talking about just how good of a game he had. Definitely needed this one. He was 6 of 7 tonight, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. Very aggressive. Even tonight, just like pretty much sitting on somebody on the side. I don't even know what he was. I forget who he was. He was guarding. The guy goes up for a pump fake, and basically Drew goes up, and he comes by, sits on him basically, or kicks him with his upper leg. Physical dude comes right in the game, and he's going after it with what's his name?
Taylor Horton Tucker.
Yeah, no, no, John Collins. John Collins wasn't it? Yeah, as soon as he comes in, him and Collins are going after each other. I love the physicality. He's just automatically pissed off, and doesn't he just look sunburnt all the time? I love how pissed off he is, and he just wants to like make someone hurt out there. He brings that physicality we definitely need. Sometimes he's just not in the right place, fumbling passes underneath, but he kind of I don't know, tonight he kind of just, I guess towards the end of the game, he made up for it in a way after that, but beginning of the game wasn't too good, but he did finish well. What do you think about Eubanks, man? as I just
Okay.
stutter my way to the finish line there.
I might receive some heat for this, but I'm being serious though.
Oh,
And this isn't really like a hot take or anything. I'm just
okay.
probably
You
talking
want Joel
crazy.
Embiid?
Maybe
What?
yes, trade everything for Joel Embiid right now. But no,
Oh, excuse me.
I feel like Josh Okogie and Jordan Goodwin have the Dan Marley Hustle Award wrapped up. But here's my sort of quote hot take, and it's not even really a hot take. Maybe Drew Eubanks for the Dan Marley Hustle Award winner. Just saying,
Oh,
man. He has some
careful.
sneaky plays, man. Like you've talked about the
Yeah.
physicality. Sometimes maybe it's like a sneaky good rebound or a sneaky good block shot. Did you see that one play where he saved the ball and like kind of threw it behind his back from going out of bounds? Like he has those sneaky plays. What's crazy about that pass that he saved was he was down court, man. He like ran in and saved it. Like he just does those kind of things. There was the one play where he backed down. I forgot who was guarding him, but he backed down one of the Jazz players. He went up and under. I think it was on Walker Kessler, actually, of all people. And then you know how I was talking about Yusuf Nurkic being a good passer? Sometimes Drew Eubanks is a good passer. I'm a big fan. Like I'll take the major L. I didn't know much about him when we got him. And now I'm like one of his biggest fans. I'm jumping on the Drew Eubanks bandwagon. And yeah, he's great, man.
No, he's a huge ad this offseason. Han Sagan does say Miles Turner would be a dream ad. Just want to point that out really quick. Of course, everyone here would love Miles Turner. Would be the perfect center, but he's not a backup. I think what we have with Nurk, you got to kind of stick with it. I mean, you promised the guy to come here to be a starter. He's been healthy through 3 games, right? Unlike some other guys.
Huge slap in the face. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You just can't do that now. So we're rolling with this team. This team's going to be great. I know I threw out the Embiid thing, but that's definitely like something for down the road. Maybe like in a couple years, he comes here and plays with Booker because everyone's going to eventually want to come here a little bit. This guy, Nazir Little, he was good tonight towards the end of that. He had a nice little dunk tonight. He wasn't too crazy, but I do like his drop.
Nasty Nas, what square dance with me?
Nas is just he's kind of getting there, right? He's almost there. He's playing some good minutes now. He did have 21 minutes tonight. Oh, my bad. He actually did have 21 minutes, and he did have 6 points. He was 0 for 5
from 3-point
line, which is fine, I guess. They look more confident. What do you think about it? Because I think right now you kind of find that other guy, and I feel like he's like kind of the outside guy. You know, we have like that 9-man, 6-man rotation, or 9-man, 8-man rotation kind of. He kind of comes in as the 9th guy, and he kind of has to feel himself, right? KBD did get 6 minutes tonight, but in garbage time. But Nas is like that other guy that needs to come in and just kind of like clean up things and keep things going to kind of help that bench. Right now, he looks a little bit more confident, but he's still not the same guy that I feel like we thought he would be coming into the season. Your thoughts on him, though, man?
Yeah, I was sort of overhyping him when we first got him because I was just a fan of him. And, you know, I know that maybe some people might be having Landry Shamet flashbacks here, but maybe Frank Vogel is rewarding him because of what he's doing in practice, because this is a hustle guy. This is an effort guy. Can play good defense. I will say I like how he's chucking it, but like you got to be consistent because you mentioned he was 0 for 5 from 3 tonight. But he can score. I mean, there was one game, I don't know if it was in the Warriors game or the Lakers game, but he literally got brought in for 3 minutes, hit a 3 when we were struggling to score the ball. So like you mentioned, man, kind of like a cleanup guy, if you will, but he's just got to be consistent. I'm still a fan of him, man. I don't think he's going anywhere. I also think he's on a pretty good contract as well. So like, you know, just an effort guy, hustle guy, you know, one of those guys that will be a fan favorite off of the bench, but he's just got to be consistent, man.
Yeah, I think so too. And another guy that's kind of been a little inconsistent so far. Metal Mike points out, I want to see more Yuta getting more minutes.
Yeah, he's got to get more minutes.
He does definitely. I think he's finding his way. He had that nice move. He had a nice little steal behind the back, left-handed layup. I know he's left-handed, right? He is, right? I just for some reason I always forget. Yeah. So he had the left-handed layup. Looked very nice. I think in the fourth quarter, that whole bench was just showing off in front of our bench. I was just filled with starters. They were out there just playing around, just like Drew Eubanks had that pass, like he said, from out of bounds. Bol had the same thing, shot clock violation. The crowd goes crazy, louder than any kind of Devin Booker game-winning shot ever when Bol touches the ball. But he did come in tonight. There is no, I don't think John made a drop for him at all. So, and I don't even have a graphic for him yet. So Bol still getting some minutes in garbage minutes. I think that he's gonna be that guy definitely to come in and just kind of keep the fans in their seats when it's a blowout. That's what I think he's there for, and I'm fine with that, right? But Yuta, moving back to him, I do want to see more defense. He did have a block shot tonight. It was really nice on Colin Sexton. But then other than that, defensively, he's okay. He's a little sketch. I pointed out last game, but offensively, he's not afraid to do anything. He has like that little quick step, pump fake, quick step to the hole. He's trying that out. I think before we actually know, when we did get him, I did point out, I'm like, I love the pump fake getting to the rim, something that he seemed like he was kind of working on. Now you can kind of see it unfolding, but he's not really hitting it. He's almost there. He's almost there with that shot, because if he can get that to go down, he's gonna be deadly. I know there's a few guys like Aaron Gordon that has a floater, and you also have Goodwin as well with a really nice floater. If Yuta can get that, that's gonna be awesome. But Yuta, he's the fan favorite. After that play tonight, man, he was just, the crowd was going crazy. Katie, everybody was just falling over each other. What a moment, right? I just love ending games like that when guys like that just make huge plays.
He's a fan favorite, but also he's a player favorite, because you know that he wanted to come here, one, because of Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant loves him too, man. And I will never forget what Devin Booker said about him, man. I think this might have been during training camp and all that, but he was like, when Yuta is on the court, Booker has his, quote, antennas up. You know what I mean? And like, I'm going to sound like totally biased here and like a homer, but I feel like maybe Yuta is, quote, struggling because we don't have our big three on the court. Because seriously, imagine it. Even if we just had two of the three on the court, man, Yuta's going to be out there spacing. He's going to be wide open. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
maybe he's struggling just because we're not 100% yet. And it's game 3 out of 82. You know what I mean? And but keep giving him the minutes. And I will say this, even though he's not the best defender and he still has areas of his game he needs to work on, he will challenge. Now, unfortunately, he gets dunked on a lot because of that, like the Anthony Edwards one and all that. But still, he will challenge on defense. He's got those long arms. And you're right about the floater. If he could find that floater, man, whew, he's a good
just
player,
like the finishing touch. Yeah, the finishing touch on those shots. And, pardon me, Nicholas Tan did point out that I did not even do the drop, which is my favorite drop for Yuta.
Yuta, the shooter!
Of all time, John just makes it up for those ones that people don't like, the Grayson Allen one. He makes up for it. So I love that one. But tonight there was a guy that got 2 more minutes tonight. Chimezie Metu. Let me do his job just in case I forget.
Hey, I just
met you.
And this is crazy, but here's my number.
4.
So call me maybe.
Metu, I loved him coming into the season, preseason. He was lights out from 3. He's a guy that I feel like would have saw a lot more minutes than he is now. Only 2 minutes tonight. I just want to get your take really on Metu. I know we didn't need him, obviously, but after the loss against the Lakers, a lot of people wanted to see him. He stretches the floor. He's confident in his shot. He's going to jack him up. You kind of want that next to KD when he's trying to play ISO the whole game and try to beat the Lakers by himself. You want that other guy to be confident and just, swing the ball and be ready for the shot. He's that guy. Yeah. 2 minutes tonight. I'm not sure why he's not getting a lot of minutes. I do like our rotation. I think Vogel's doing a fucking great job. Even after losing that game against the Lakers, I hate coming on here and being like, hey, we should have put Yuta in there, or we should have put Mezzi. Mezzi? Who the hell's Mezzi?
You can call him Mezzi.
Oh my God. Who is that? I don't even know who that is.
Call him Mezzi.
I like it. I'm going to call him Mezzi.
Call him Mezzi.
I like that, man. Let's do Mezzi. So Mezzi came in 2 minutes tonight, but I feel like we should see more of him. Do you agree? Or is it just like, we'll see. He'll fill in later on, right?
I mean this as a compliment. I feel like he's going to be bigger later on. You know what I mean? Because right now, this is seriously a good problem to have for Frank Vogel. It's like literally like a kid in a toy store with hundreds of dollars on him. You know what I mean? Like, you have all these weapons and all these toys you can play with. But there's only so many. There's 48 minutes to go around in every game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that he is loaded with talent. Maybe this will be a guy that I was wrong on, like with Drew Eubanks. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he'll surprise me. But right now, man, you got to kind of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We don't even have our big three yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to take some time, man. Let's see where we're at, like the 20th game of the season. You know what I mean? But anything could happen, man. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you too. You just have a lot of trust with this coaching staff. They know what they're doing. Obviously, we're gonna win a lot of games without Booker, without Beal, without Durant at times. So they'll figure things out. I think tonight, though, he did run up against a Utah Jazz team that was a little tired. But also, we just dominated, winning by almost 30 points. I mean, that's the way you want to do it. Or 22 points. Excuse my language again. I gotta hit up the subreddit, so stay right there.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
It's going to be the king all season long. Elvis in the house again. Yeah, I know you're going to get sick of it, Jamsters and Geekonians joining us. So tonight I was in subreddit. I was looking at what the Jazz fans were saying. It wasn't too positive, as you probably would think, right? The first one I did bring up was who does Jordan Clarkson think he is? I didn't really see much of him tonight. I guess fans are kind of teeter-tottering on him just every other game. I think when he's missing shots, they kind of get sick of him. When he's winning games, they love him. That's the way they are with Clarkson.
Fans sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a fan, right, of anything. Yep. Yeah, definitely. So I got to do that really quick. Excuse me. So 7 turnovers in less than 10 minutes is not conductive. Oh my gosh, conducted to winning basketball games. That's not even a good comment. I don't know why I put that in there. Does Sexton know he's allowed to pass the ball? That's one thing with me is I never liked Sexton too much because he reminds me of Bledsoe in a way where he just never passes the ball. So that can be frustrating, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Could you imagine if Booker and Beal were playing tonight? Ugh, yeah, that's scary, right? Even for Suns fans, that's going to be scary. We probably
would have won by 50, dude. No joke.
Yeah. But here, seriously, here's a little shot at Booker. I bet Booker paid $500 plus for that ugly ass hoodie. I thought he looked good. I thought Beal looks good, man. Beal looks good at anything. He's by far the most attractive player we have. He looks good in a trash bag. So last game though, he looked even better. He had the Kevin Johnson jersey.
Yep.
And
he's a real one.
The Hot Topic pants. I loved it. Yeah, it was a great look. And then Udoka sighting. Yeah, Udoka used to play for the Jazz. So that's all I have for subreddit. Any comments on that? Are you good?
Jazz fans can be salty. That's all I got to say.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
All right.
The reason that I said the Jazz fans are salty, quick story, Suns fans, was a long time ago. I think it was Marquise Chris got in a fight or an altercation with the Jazz. And technically he started it. I made a video about it. It is the most disliked video on my channel, and I had so many negative comments. So I'll always kind of be bitter towards Jazz fans, but
yeah,
it is what it is. I probably shouldn't have made that video, but it was a long time ago. I had to talk about something,
Yeah, I mean, you always go through those phases where you just kind of hate on a fan base, right? And then it kind of passes and they suck, and now you're just fine. And then you have to look at pictures of John. I don't know.
It's a great picture,
it just
man.
makes you feel a little bit better.
But real quick, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead, man.
I do mean what I said about the Jazz, though. I think, honestly, even if they overachieve again, I think they will be a good team. I really like Will Hardy as a coach. Larry Markkinen is going to be an all-star, probably, unless the West is just too loaded, you know what I mean? And they got some young key pieces, man. And you sort of referenced this earlier, man. They could make a trade at the deadline. Just saying. Yeah. They probably don't have to, but they could.
No, yeah, they definitely can. I think they might go the other way. Maybe the Suns can get Lauri Markkinen. I don't know. Every time there's a good player I'm watching, I'm like, can the Suns get him? I don't know what we could trade up, but I like our team right now. But let's do Jamstar, man. Let's just go to the Jamstar. Jamstar of the game, everybody. Do. All right, Jamstar of the game. All right, perfect. So Jamstar of the game tonight. Who do you got? I got, well, you go first. I just asked you, and I was going to go first.
You know what?
So go ahead.
The cliche answer is Kevin Durant, but you know what? Screw it, man. Let's go Grayson Allen. Why not? I'm choosing Grayson Allen, man.
Yeah. No, I love it. Grayson Allen, just like Michael Jordan out there with that dunk. Just absolutely beautiful. He had the pass.
With his shot.
Yeah. Who was running with him on that? There was someone running with him on the side, wide open. And he never passed the ball. He's like, I'm going to dunk this. And he literally launched from the free throw line almost. And
I forgot who was running with him, but
that was like a 3-on-1 fast break, basically almost, and he just 3-on-2 maybe, and he's like, I'm gonna take it. So I love to see it, man. He's definitely the fuck shit up guy, and he fucked some shit up tonight. So I'd like to see that. And So I guess we both agree. Jamsters, Kiko G does give it to Fuck Shit Up Guy. Katie and Gordon from 5
Forgot
Ebba.
about Eric Gordon. Yeah.
Yeah, Metal Mike, Ishbia for the Ring of Honor. True.
Yes.
Yes.
263 days in, he's already in the Ring of Honor. Yes.
Yeah, dude, it's hard to like not give it to him. So I kind of
For
want to
real.
give it to him. Hans Sagan says Grayson Allen, a little Dan Marley in him. Yeah, I can definitely see
Ooh,
that.
okay.
That's a good comp. I
All
like
right.
that a lot, man. Fabio Nagazaki, Eric Gordon.
Yep. Yeah.
Dakota Kid, Grayson Allen, Jam Star for
Yep.
sure. Aussie Suns fans,
Hey,
thanks
shout out to
for
them.
hanging out and watching us. I appreciate it. Eric Gordon.
Check them out after our podcast, by the way. They'll be live.
Is it tonight?
Yeah, I think they're going live tonight. At least that's
Okay,
what they
because I
said.
saw a comment in our chat. I'm like, wait, I thought it was in
Maybe
the morning,
tomorrow.
but-
I don't know.
Okay,
Time
yeah.
zones.
No, I think they're going live after us.
Yeah.
Yeah, check them out. Well, Sons Geek, we got 10 minutes left tonight. Is there anything I missed? Anything that you wrote down in cursive that I did not go over? You get a drink.
Oh, okay. You know what? Because we were talking about the Ring of Honor, and just a quick comment that Dan Marley made, and I really like this. He also, and I mean this in a good way, he thinks like a fan, because he even said that, like, because they were at, I think it was K Ray and Eddie Johnson. They asked him about what he thinks about the Phoenix Suns having, quote, no point guard. And he did make a good reference. He's like, oh man, he's like, I think just like you guys think. He's like, I'm all for it. Because he mentioned like back in the day, he was like, it was Kevin Johnson and him. And it was like sometimes he had to take the ball up. Like they didn't really have a true point guard, if you will. Because you could maybe make the argument, was Kevin Johnson really a true point guard? Or was he kind of like a combo guard, if you will?
Mhm.
But he talked about that, like how at that time they didn't have a point guard. And I know it was a different era, different time in basketball, but I like that. Like Thunder Dan really does know the game of basketball. I thought that was interesting right there. And again, man, go back and watch the highlights. I just really think KD and Grayson Allen and heck, even Gordon, they're finding some kind of chemistry out there. Maybe I'm overhyping it because I do that a lot sometimes, but it's true. The ball movement looked great tonight. And guys, just relax. Like eventually Devin Booker and Bradley Beal will be back and everything will be fine. And if this was not a eye opener for everybody, then I don't know how else to analyze it or break it down, but just relax, you guys. Eventually they will be back. I mean, we haven't really talked about the injuries. Are you worried about it? I'm not. I'm staying optimistic, man.
You know what? I worry about a lot of stuff in life, and yes, I am worried about it. And I know it's early. It's one of those things where Frank Vogel won't even really talk about in his pregame press conference. Won't talk about.
He kind of shut it down tonight.
It is worrisome, and it's
Okay.
fine. It's not fine. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to react to this. Honestly, I don't think it's something to be concerned about. When you're winning, it's fine, right? If we were to lose tonight, we'd be like, well, what the fuck's going to happen?
Especially if we would have
Where are
gotten
we
blown out. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, it's like, well, can we
Yeah.
trade for Embiid? Can we get him over here right now? That's what I would do. 1 and 2. I don't want to start that way. But no. I think Jamsters, Geek Squad, I think it's okay to worry about it. It's your team. You love this team. You waste so much time watching them. You care so much about these players. When they're hurt and stuff, and you don't really know the timeline of them coming back, 2 of your best players, it sucks. And I know it's early and you want to win a championship, but even Dan Marley was talking about, you got to kind of have, these guys on the court gelling and stuff like that. And how much do you miss Dan Marley in the booth? Dan Marley was the best, cracking Coors Lights like every game. He was the best. I love EJ. But he's like, I think Dan Marley was maybe a little bit better. He was a little bit more, maybe more funny, but EJ is still right up there with.
EJ is great. I don't agree with everything he says, but EJ sometimes does make really good points. But you're right. Thunder Dan was awesome in the booth. And shout out to my guy, Thunder Steve. He's met him multiple times and all that. Says Dan Marley's a great guy and all that. And yeah, you're right. Cracking Coors Lights and everything. But again, I love how, and again, man, like I love how you worded it. You said like, Thunder Dan and Barkley coming back whenever they feel like maybe we'll see more Thunder Dan on the broadcast. You know what I mean? Like, I would love that. I think
that'd be awesome. I think that's the next move. They're bringing back everything else. Why not Thunder Dan? I think he would love a job here in Phoenix, trading on and off with EJ. Maybe they can split time. I would love that, man. Or maybe just have a 3-man booth.
And
I
also
would- I'd
shout
like
out to what's her name from the Phoenix Mercury, Sophie Cunningham or
Yeah.
whatever. She's great on the broadcast
Oh,
too.
she's-
But bring back Thunder, Dan. That'd be
Yeah.
incredible, man.
She's fantastic. Aussie Suns fans says we're live straight after
Let's go.
you guys in 10 minutes. We're almost done, so calm down. Aussie Suns fans on YouTube, so go there. I always mess up their names all the time. I'm sorry. But really quick in the chat, Alfredo Alcala. Sorry, I can't speak.
You pronounce names
$5.
better than I do.
No, I do a terrible job. I have not gotten one thing right this whole time in 4 years or how long I've been doing this. Miss you guys. First listen this season. Also, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sun Geek for being everywhere. PHNX, I want to get your thoughts on that pod. Way to stay true to the Suns. Go D-backs too. The D-backs should be up 2-0, but they're tied 1-1. They got one in Texas with Luka Doncic and Dirk there at the game. So a little rivalry there. Next games we'll have Booker and KD there, I'm sure.
Yep.
But yeah, you know what? You were on PHNX, and that was great. Watch the whole episode. You did a great job. How was that? I mean, you did have a video about it, but just a quick little recap of the experience. Was it just unreal or what?
Yeah, man. First off, you know me, I'm kind of my own biggest critic. I was a little too critical of my own performance there. I was a little nervous. I should have lightened up a little bit, kind of like how John did when he was on there. He sang that song and everything that he did.
Yeah.
But,
John's a different animal, though.
Exactly.
He's just,
exactly.
Yeah, he's a crazy man.
But real talk, whether you watch PHNX all the time or whether you don't, it is incredible over there. Like and I said this like 10 times on their podcast. I said I was overwhelmed in the best way. Like we're talking the bright lights, like it was like an actual studio. But we got into some good conversations and all that, and they made me feel comfortable. Kind of like how we've done many shows together. Like I remember the first time I joined your show, I was super nervous and everything, but they made me feel comfortable over there. Big shout out to them. Unfortunately, I didn't get to meet Saul or Gerald, but they are great guys. And Espo and Flex and Lindsay and all of them, they were very welcoming, very kind and everything. And what I love about it, man, and I'm sure the invite goes to you guys too, is anytime they're not doing their show, they are down to come on my show. And again, I'm sure your guys' show as well. So shout out to them.
There's
man.
always a connection. Yeah, everybody's on everybody's show.
Like we legit talked about that. Flex was like, yeah, man. He's like, whenever you need me, bro, just hit me up. And Espo pretty much said
Flex
the same thing. So
Flex is the best. He'll always jump on.
Shout out to them, man.
Yeah, I love those guys. All right. So we'll go ahead and move on really quick. I want to go ahead and just talk about the next game. The Suns do play the San Antonio Spurs Halloween night. Nice and spooky, huh? For this one, I want to see if I can go ahead and bring up the graphic really quick. It is 7 p.m. on Tuesday versus Spurs here at home again. And, Wemby will be in the house. What are you thinking, man? Have you been watching him at all? I mean, he's a rookie for sure, but very scary. I can tell that teams have kind of went away from shooting the threes when he's on you because he can definitely block those. Devin Vassell, he's a monster, guy that can get to the hole. That whole team is like, it's coming along, but they have Vassell, who I wanted in that draft for sure. That was a draft.
Feels
I definitely wanted.
Feels like a lifetime ago, and it really wasn't.
Yeah, no, yeah, it does, right? But he's a fantastic guy, our player, but he has a chance to really be something on that team and be a leader. But Wemby, your thoughts on him? Have you seen him play at all?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I've kind of just seen the casual highlights here and there, but I've watched those highlights closely, if that makes sense. And this is a different breed. The whole like cliche, he's an alien. He's an NBA 2K created player. It's true though. Like he moves like a point guard and he's 7'7" or whatever. You know what I mean? Like the dude is literally a freak and he's a rookie. You know what I mean? Like he's going to, if he can stay healthy, he's going to put it together. This guy could be dominating the league for years. Also shout out to Chet Holmgren, by the way. I know that he got like dunked on or whatever recently, but he's looking really good too. But, I know it's cool to hate the Spurs because we're rivals with them and everything, but you mentioned it, Devin Vassell. They got a couple other guys over there, Jeremy Shohan as well. They're putting it together, man. I don't know how long Greg Popovich is going to coach for. I'm sure they got salary cap just kind of waiting in the wings. Maybe some tradable pieces down the road. You build it all around Wemby. Whew. And think about it, man. I mean, again, I know it's just highlights. I know he's everywhere on ESPN and Twitter and all that, but like it is for real, man. Just ignore Twitter for a second and just literally go watch the highlights. Like he is a freak in the best way possible.
Yeah, 5 EBA does say, excuse me, looks very
Yes.
mature for his age too. He definitely does. He's the perfect Spur player.
Yep.
You know, it does kind of suck that he's on the Spurs, but he's fun to watch and he
He
has a lot
is
more to
really
learn.
mature for his age, like real
Yeah,
talk.
and he looks like he's ready to learn and he's with the perfect coach for
Yep.
it. It's going to be scary for sure. So that's why you kind of want the Suns to kind of squeak out a championship before that guy becomes real and hits his prime, because then it might be over. Because it's like a Giannis, but it might be worse than that. You don't want to face that in the future and try to hope to win a title against him.
Ooh.
But you know what? We do have just one more minute. I want to get your take on your favorite, scariest horror movie out there. Because it is Halloween, and I won't see Halloween night. So I just want to ask you, I know you're big into Chucky, but what else you got? Is Chucky your number one, or is there some other movie under the radar you want to let us know about?
You said the scariest, and you know what? I feel ashamed I don't own this on Blu-ray. That's probably going to be my next purchase, and I'm probably overhyping this, but I love it. Every time I watch it, it legit frightens me. Like, I have to watch this movie with the lights on. An honorable mention to the second one, but The Conjuring. The Conjuring, directed by James Wan, Patrick Wilson. I can't pronounce the chick's name in that movie, but it was phenomenal. It's based off true events and true stories. It is legit frightening. Also, Insidious is really good. I love the Chucky movies because just the slashing and the cheesiness and all that. But like, when we're talking like movies that legit scare me, like The Conjuring, 100%, man. I try to watch it every Halloween. And yes, Casper also gives me nightmares. Have you actually seen that movie?
You know what, Casper? Yeah, it's really funny. I haven't seen that movie in forever, but I was talking about it with somebody, and she's like, "You know what, Casper's?" I'm like, "Casper." I'm like, I forgot about Casper, and we were watching it, and now my niece and nephew watch it. My niece loves it. Forgot about that movie till this year. It's probably been like 10 to 12 years, and I'm
go back and revisit it, man. You might be surprised. What about you though, man? Any movies that like truly like freak you out?
Yeah, Will Greg does say Gremlins terrifies me. I don't care. It's not a horror movie. Yeah, I never really even seen that whole movie. But for me, the scariest one before we get out of here is Blair Witch. Blair Witch was one of those that always scared. I saw them in theaters, and you just think it's real. You never see the witch, and it just leaves it up to your imagination. That's the scariest thing.
Especially
I was scared.
ending.
I was scared of that one for forever. I was in my mom's bed till probably a couple weeks ago. I got over it, but now Halloween's coming up, and kids are gonna be walking around with their costumes, so I might be scared again. But Derek Camacho says The Exorcist.
Yeah,
that's a good one. But yeah, anything else? We're gonna get out of here. We'll see John. I guess John. Yeah, we'll be doing the show. John. I don't think he's going to the game, so he might have had plans to go to the game this Halloween, but I think we're gonna be here, so it'll be John and me next pod. But thanks again, Suns Geek. I had so much fun. Like, tonight was just an amazing night. I wish it would never end. I wish we can go on for hours and hours.
I know,
but we got to get our beauty rest. Jamsters, thanks for everything. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like. Make sure to leave your 5-star reviews. Hit up Spotify too. If you're on Spotify, leave the 5-star review. We're at 4.9. We got to get that up. All right. Someone hit us down a little bit. We got to get that up to 5 stars again. But other than that, Geek, thanks. And where can they find you? I think they already know, but let them know again.
Well, just in case you're watching me for the first time or us for the first time, make sure to subscribe to both of our channels. Go subscribe to the Suns Jam Session podcast on Apple Podcasts and all the other platforms you guys are on. This is a great show, man. I mean, John is the best, but I feel like you and I have had some great shows under our belt together. You know what I mean? We're a good duo. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, just anywhere on social media, YouTube, Twitter. I'm even on TikTok. Yes, I call it TikTok. Just search Suns Geek. You'll find me. And I love doing these shows, man. Anytime you guys need me, like seriously, even if it's like last minute, just let me know. I'll try to be available. Yeah, you guys know me. I do live shows, videos, YouTube shorts.
Oh yeah,
all on my
all over the place.
Yeah. Thanks for having
I appreciate
me,
it. I really appreciate it. Thanks again, Jamsters. Thanks to Suns Geek. Everybody, go home and love your family.